everyone, it's Alice and I am here today with October's book box jewel. So if you've been watching our channel for a while, you'll know that we used to do Book Box Battle, then we started doing Book Box Jewel because we dropped OwlCrate, and last month Book Box Battle actually made a comeback because I decided to buy a second-hand OwlCrate to get the book pot that they did last month, and that was a great decision because OwlCrate actually ended up winning last month's episode, which is impressive considering they weren't even officially taking part, which means whereas normally the winner of the previous episode is the box that we open last, I then had to pick a second place, which means FairyLoot got second place last month and will be open last on the video today. So we're going to go diving straight into the lovely world of OwlCrate. OwlCrate also did a superb box last month. They were all practically inseparable, and I'm hoping that it's going to be as good of a quality for this month as well. This is the Power Has a Price box. Okay, and straight off I can see something fabric-y, which is very cute. This is by Bluely Boo, and it's the Fox and the Prince scarf inspired by Once Upon a Broken Heart. So perfect weather for a scarf. It's just started getting really, really cold here in the UK. Oh, and this is really adorable. You've got the little apples and the foxes and the bow and arrow. I don't know much about Once Upon a Broken Heart because I haven't started the series yet, but the colours are very appealing, the material's very thick, and it's a very cute design, so that's a great item to start with. We then have the Treasured Tomes pin of the month. This is the 10th out of 12 pins that are designed by... I cannot remember. No One Designs. It's been a long day. And this one is inspired by Howl's Moving Castle, which is cute. Oh wow, and you've got the castle that is moving, and then it's got the little fire moat guy sticking out the top of the page, which is very cute. I've never read or watched Howl's Moving Castle, so I don't know much about it. I think we ought to live happily ever after. That's one of the nicer ones that we've had. I've loved all of these pin badges. I think the idea is brilliant. I think it's great that it gives you a bit of context from the story and it's kind of like an interactive pin. But where that one's so brightly coloured, I think it's very eye-catching, very appealing, and definitely one of the better ones we've gotten from that collection this year. Only 2 left and I'm very sad. We then have a box. This is the Nature of Witches Spoon Rest, designed by Sel Chorney. Okay. Autumn is its own kind of magic. Very fall, very kind of cottagecore design, very cute. I've never used a spoon rest really, but I guess with one as beautiful as this I could start. And that is designed by Sel Chorney, who I don't think they've worked with before. That's not a name that I recognise, but beautiful illustrations, so definitely a good pick. Then there is a Snow Cream Spice Latte Dragon Rider. I'm guessing a lip balm. Yeah, vegan lip balm by Fiction Bath Co. So let's try this. Definitely need a lip balm this time of year as well. It's getting so dry and my lips are cracking like mad. Oh, that's really nice. Like, you can get the spice in it. I'm guessing it's probably going to be some kind of cinnamon or something like that. I can't see it on there. But it definitely smells kind of cinnamony. Definitely a nice little Christmassy feel with that one. Then we have another little packet over here, which is the Singard Academy sticker set, inspired by the Poppy War series, designed with love by Anne Guyon Art. Anne Guyon Art? Oh! Okay, so we have some poppies there. Oh, okay, yeah, they are. They're like, see-through stickers in a very thick kind of plastic, possibly acrylic. Wow, little scenes from the book. Like, there's a temple, there's some characters. I don't know how well these are going to come up on the camera because of the fact that they're transparent, but they're very pretty. A pile of books with a cup of tea set on top of it. A phoenix. A dragon. A bow and arrow. And another character. Oh, very interesting. I've never seen anything like that before. Mostly the sticker sets come on the really big like sheets, so it's good to see them doing something different. Featuring our favourite anti-heroes and elements from the Poppy War. Okay, I really need to read that series because I still haven't picked it up yet, but that's really cool. Then we move on to the book. We also have at the bottom here the Owl Babble and the prompt card for next month, which is Perilous Travels. And this is This Dark Descent by Kaylin Josephson. From what I can remember about this one... Oh! Stenciled edges! Oh, that's a surprise. Oh, they're very, very off-centre at the top. I'll show you once I've got it open. But from what I can remember, this sounds a lot like the Scorpio Races by Maggie Stiefvater, so it doesn't surprise me that OwlCrate's picked this one because they're very big Maggie Stiefvater fans. They did a special edition of the Scorpio Races a couple of years ago, and they've done special editions of the whole Raven Boys set as well. And I think they did the Dreamer trilogy as well, like a special themed box with each one that got released. So definitely a good choice for them with the vibes that I'm getting from it. This Dark Descent, promise me you will be fearless. You can see at the top that is like horrendously off-centered. This side centered and the bottom is centered, but the top is like almost off the page. I don't know if that annoys me enough to contact them because I have been having a lot of issues with OwlCrate this year. I think I've had to have either 2 or 3 replacement books because of damages. So I don't really feel like it annoys me that much, but it's a shame that this is one of the first times they've done stenciled edges and that it hasn't gone the best, because I don't know if it's where they don't have a lot of experience with doing them, but the quality control since they've started doing the stencil and sprayed edges has really gone downhill. So it's just something to keep in mind if you were thinking of subscribing to OwlCrate, or if you're a long-term subscriber. It's just something to kind of keep in mind, that it's good that they're doing these extra customizations, but it's not always the best. So then we have the end papers that are illustrated there. You've got the 2 people with the horse. Oh, foiling under the dust jacket that says, "Do not be afraid of your own power, embrace it." And the Illiner for Endelaine, for the Harbingers for Sendia. 4 races, 100 riders, 1 winner. Witness the spectacle and thrills of the Illiner. Which again is quite... I don't know if it's meant to go that high up to the top, but that's quite unusual. It's very interesting though, like they've put a lot into it. We have a different end paper at the back there of a couple having like a romantic moment. And we also have under the dust jacket artwork there that has the horse and a cat sat on a horse. And then like an eagle. I don't really like that art style. I think the depth on the cat and the horse looks a little bit weird to me, but I'm sure some people will really, really love it. So for the artists on this one, the redesign cover is by Anta_Arf. The reversible dust jacket is by Rhymes.y. The stenciled edges are by Carmen.dm Design. The foil hardcover design is by Divine Literary, and the end pages are by Spookgeist. There's also a designed signature page by Divine Literary, so I'll just open it up and see if I can show you that. And then we'll read the blurb quickly. Yep. Design page there, and the author letter bound in. The blurb is, "Let the race begin. The Russell family is famous throughout Endelaine as breeders of enchanted horses, but their prestige is no match for their rising debts. To save her family's ranch, Mikira Russell is left with only one option. Enter the Illiner, a treacherous cross-country horse race known as much for its high body count as its enticing prize money. To have any chance of success, Mikira will have to recruit Ariel Kadar, a talented but unlicensed enchanter who creates golems in place of enchanted animals, and Damien Adair, a dashing young lord in the midst of a fierce succession battle. Both have mysterious reasons of their own to help Mikira, as well as their own blood feuds to avenge. Steeped in Jewish folklore, This Dark Descent is a spellbinding new fantasy full of intrigue, romance, and pulse-pounding action. In a world as dangerous as this, will hidden agendas and conflicting desires butcher Makira Arian Damien's chances of winning the Ilina, or will another rider's dagger? It definitely sounds interesting. I don't think there's going to be like a love triangle between the three mains, but the story and the fact that it's steeped in Jewish folklore sounds very interesting to me. I have actually already got it borrowed on the library app because it came on and I was really interested in it, and I'd forgotten that any of the book boxes were doing it. So I'm glad that I have a copy, but we'll wait and see what I think of it. I guess it's time to move on to FairyLoot. Next up is FairyLoot, so let's see what they've done this month. Okay, and straight up I'm seeing a little pouch with some stuff in it, so let us find out what these are. Drink me, eat me, drink me, eat me. I don't understand. I mean, I know it's Alice in Wonderland, but what? What is it? I mean, okay. Well, while I'm confused by the purpose of them, the printing on them is also not great quality. Like, most of these have little sections that's already kind of peeled off, which is a shame. I don't know if there's like 4 in the one bag. They've kind of scratched each other in transit, but you can see quite a bit of the design in some places is like peeling off, like especially on the writing. So whatever it is, I'm hesitant to use it in case I break it, but also I can't figure out for the life of me. It looks like a clip of some kind, but I just can't figure out a way to fucking open it. God knows. We'll wait until we find the spoiler card, which is actually on top here, so we'll look at the spoiler card. Bag clips. They're food clips by Blanca Design, inspired by Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, perfect for keeping or reading snacks fresh. But I can't. I can see the bit, like I can see the hinge, but I can't see a way to actually get them to open because it looks like everything else is actually like joined together, and I don't want to break it. Try and slide my nails down it. No, that is not going. You know what, we're going to move on, but they get a big L from me because I can't actually physically use them. I have funny thumbs, I'm double jointed, so sometimes things like clips, if they're too stiff, they're hard for me to use. So it might be a case that it's that, and you might get yours and you might be really impressed. But the fact that I'm struggling to use them, combined with the fact that for bag clips with the big circle on the top, they seem a little bit kind of clunky. I've only seen a bag clip that's like the rectangular bit. So I can't see, I know obviously it improves the design, but I can't really see where that's necessary. And I also just have no real reason to have bag clips. Like, I just eat my snacks. Is that really fat of me? I'm like, oh, I'm just going to absolutely eat everything that I see when I'm reading. But I don't snack when I read a lot. So when I do, I just kind of eat. But again, like, some people really love these. I'm just not the person for those. Then we have a Happily Ever After spoon, which I can use with my OwlCrate spoon rest. Amazing. And this is also designed by Blanca Design. Oh, wow. It's got a little mushroom on it. It says Happily Ever After. It's a... Again, I don't know if I'm being too critical, but these just don't seem very high quality. I've got like a big kind of lump of ceramic on the back there. And where the brown is, it's like really rough. Like, it doesn't feel finished. I don't think I would feel comfortable using this with food or drinks. Because obviously with some things you need to be careful if they're not finished because they can contaminate the food. It's not something I used to be concerned about, but since I've had children, obviously you do worry. But that doesn't feel finished. It doesn't look finished. It's also quite sharp at the top there. There's like a big blobble that's got like a sharp bit on it. Maybe I've just got one that's been a bit badly produced. I'll have a look on like spoiler pages and see other people's unboxings to see if it's me. But yeah, it doesn't say that it's a decorative one. It says it's to add to your curated cottagecore kitchen, which I don't have a cottagecore kitchen. I can now because I have a spoon rest and a spoon, but I do find it just strange though, because those items do complement each other really beautifully. But again, like, cottagecore is not really my aesthetic, and with not knowing whether that's actually finished properly, a little bit apprehensive. We've then got something wrapped in paper, which is a photo album. Oh, okay, cool. Oh, this is really, really good. These are mostly, I think you can fit the spoiler cards in them. So it's normally, yeah, so you can use them for the spoiler cards, you can use them for art cards, art prints that are involved, and it just means you can keep them all neater rather than having them stacked in a box. I've got quite a few albums from book boxes over the years, and I always think they're a great inclusion because it proves that they're thinking about the fact that it is a lot of stuff coming into people's houses, and they do need to find some how to store it. And the design on this one's beautiful as well. You've got like this kind of pearlescent foiling, and then there's like a beautiful kind of woodland scene, like a fairy on the spine. They're not overly related to a certain fandom, so it's got a wide appeal. That's a good thing. So this is designed by Warika Art. Very, very beautiful. We then have something else that I'm not really that interested in, to be honest. This is turning into a bit of an AF month. We have a Forest Grim embroidery kit designed by Forensics and Flowers. So these embroidery kits, I can't remember if it was FairyLoot or OwlCrate that featured them before, but they're a great idea. They come with like the frame, they come with the materials on the threads and everything are all in this bag, aren't they? Yeah. This one actually comes with like printed instructions, which is good because I think it must have been OwlCrate, had online ones that you had to like scan. So it's cool that it's teaching you a new skill. But for someone like me who isn't very crafty, isn't very creative, has never really been interested in any kind of needlework or anything like that, these just kind of sail right over my head. I might try them eventually, but I feel like I would just get overly stressed. But it is good value for money because it does mean that instead of just getting an item that you can use, you're getting an item that you can actually make yourself. So it's a lot of fun for some people, not particularly for me. But it does mean that the value for money is better. It's just not a personal favourite of mine. We've then got something else that I really don't like. Oh no. You know what, this is good though, because I have been thinking about cancelling all of my book boxes at the end of the year because, like, we have too many books. We have too much stuff. We have 2 children who also require a lot of stuff, and it would just be nice to have a less chaotic house. So I've been thinking about just cancelling everything and calling it quits because it is a lot of stuff coming in each month. And when you have a month like this, when, I mean, the OwlCrate book's not the best quality, and the FairyLoot items so far, I mean, apart from the photo album, which I wouldn't even really need if I wasn't getting these book boxes, it's been a bit of a miss so far. The only thing I think I'll actually really use will be that OwlCrate scarf, but I have a lot of scarves already. So this is making me more convinced that it might be a good idea to just say bye-bye. So that is a positive thing. If you think about the fact that I'll be saving space and money, it's a good thing. It's just a bit disappointing that it's happened now, because if I'd had a couple of really good boxes, I probably would have kept trying. But these are overlays, designed by CYT Drawers. They're Emily Wilde overlays. So these are like art things that are supposed to go over the page to represent the scene that's depicted. So you've got like a girl walking with her dog. I'm assuming she's probably Emily Wilde. There's the boy. They're sat reading by a fireplace. It's beautiful artwork. She's taking a picture of a dog. And again, beautiful artwork, but I will never understand the point of overlays. I won't. I think that this is probably going to be controversial because I know they're gaining in popularity a lot, but I think if you want to do an illustrated version of the book that you are featuring in your book box, then just do an illustrated version. It'll cost more. The production costs will go up, the cost of the actual book would go up, but the end product would be of such a higher quality compared to, oh, I'm reading and now I have to hold this piece of paper in place to like slot it in to be able to picture the scene while I'm reading it. And I mean, for a book like Crescent City, when you've got very iconic scenes, when you've got, like, moments that are very dramatic, moments that are very pivotal, that, with the, I think it was OwlCrate did the overlays for that made more sense to me. This seems like a kind of quaint, cozy book, and they're like, oh, well, we know that book was very popular. I mean, the FairyLoot edition has an extremely high resale value. I believe it's getting a sequel. So they probably just thought that they could kind of maximise on the fact that that's a popular fandom at the moment. But my other argument would be, what about people who have subscribed in the past year? So from what I can remember, Emily Wilde was an adult pick anyway. It was in the FairyLoot adult box. So why the fuck are Emily Wilde overlays in the YA box if it's not a YA book? Doesn't make sense to me. And if anybody only subscribes to YA or doesn't own a copy of Emily Wilde, what the hell are they supposed to do with these? If this was the book of this month, fair. If these were in the Emily Wilde box, fair. But let's be honest, this is just, for a lot of people, they're going to be able to put these semi-transparent pictures in their photo album, if they will even fit, because they're very, very thin. Yeah, so you get, it's too tall. So you get a semi-transparent picture for a book that you don't necessarily own or have no interest in, that you can't even put in your photo album that they have featured in this book box. I don't understand why this decision has been made. Yes, the artwork's cute, but it doesn't really make much sense to me. Like, can you imagine if they'd put in, like, a bonus chapter for a book that they'd featured? Like, say in this book box they decided to do a bonus chapter for the Alyce 6. Okay, so anybody that wasn't subscribed to FairyLoot when they did the Alyce 6 wouldn't be able to appreciate it, wouldn't be able to understand it. It would just be kind of like a wasted item for them, especially because that's an adult book and this is a YA box. At the end of the day, this is a YA box. The YA and adult subscriptions are separate. FairyLoot shouldn't be assuming that every YA subscriber is going to have a copy of a random adult book. Just doesn't make any sense to me. Can you imagine if OwlCrate randomly put page overlays for, like, the Bridgerton books in their subscription box? They've done an edition of it, sure. But at the end of the day, they didn't do an edition in that monthly subscription. It was different. I'm going to stop talking about it now because it's just made me very angry. Because I think, number one, it means that people have wasted money if they don't have Emily Wilde. Number two, it means people feel kind of obligated to purchase it. Because they'll be like, oh, well, I've got that now. I might as well get a copy. And number three, I just don't think it's very well thought out. That just makes me grumpy. I'm sure some people are going to really love these and you're all going to be like, why are you going on about it so much? But it's the principle for me of, like, I wouldn't, if I was curating a book box, I wouldn't assume that every single person subscribed to it had a book that had not even come in that book box. Oh well, let's look at the book and hopefully get even more disappointed. Oh, tarot cards. So this month we have the 3 of Moons and the 4 of Moons. And these are Sophia and Constance from Cinderella is Dead by Kaylin Bayron, and they are designed by Rosalind Arts. Let's move on to the book because I'm feeling very deflated now and I just kind of want to go and have a rant. It's just very disappointing when a company that you used to love has kind of changed everything that you liked about them. Oh look, black sprayed edges, what a surprise. Okay, so we've got an art card here featuring the characters with the author letter on the back, and the art card is by Gianni Fili. Then we have The Forest Grimm by Catherine Purdy. So my question now is, you know exactly what I'm going to say. Why was the embroidery kit inspired by The Forest Grimm and the overlays inspired by Emily Wilde, when the embroidery kit could have been Emily Wilde and the overlays could have been Forest Grimm, and then everybody has this book to use with those overlays. This is just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's very stupid. Right. Let's get back on with looking at the book. You've got sprayed edges there, stenciled with the little Red Riding Hood and the wolf and the trees and the stars and the black of the sky. Tell me again, Grandmère, the story of how I die on the back. Very, very crumpled corners, which is disappointing, but not surprising anymore. So then we've got some beautiful foiled end papers featuring the character walking through the woods. And you have the digitally signed tipping page. You have, ooh, this is beautiful though. Sorties Fortunae, and then all of the mushrooms on the back. So it looks like another book underneath. You've got the male character there, also with the foiled end pages, walking through the woods. And then we have an alternate cover on the reverse of the dust jacket, which looks very dark and gloomy and creepy and gives you totally different vibes to the very bright green and makes it look much more interesting. So I like that as well. So we will read out the illustrators and artists who have been involved in this edition, and then I'll read out the blurb, and then we will decide on a winner, which is going to be pretty difficult this month because I haven't particularly enjoyed either box, but we'll see how we go. So the reversible dust jacket and the foil on the hardcover are by Rachel Bostick illustration. The foiled artwork on the end papers are by Gianni Fili, who is also the person who did the character print. So, once upon a time, villagers would whisper their desires to the Book of Fortunes, and its pages would reveal how to obtain them. All was well, until someone used the book for evil. Afterward, the branches of the forest grim snatched the book away, and the village withered. The villagers tried to make amends with the forest, but every time someone crossed its border, they never returned. Despite the warning from her fortune-teller grandmother, Clara embarks on the journey into the deadly forest to procure the Book of Fortunes, to reverse the curse and save her mother and village. Clara's friend Axel puts aside his longing for her to join the journey. The young travellers have set their minds to defying fate and daring to accomplish what no one else has been able to before. Alas, the forest, alive with deadly dark twists on some of our most well-known fairy tales, has a mind of its own. I'm very interested in it. This is also one that I've got reserved on the library app because I was interested in it. So again, I'm quite clearly either learning what these picks are and forgetting and then just subconsciously remembering in time to borrow them from the library app, or they are books that I'm genuinely deeply interested in. So that's a good sign. I'm just not convinced by the items, to be honest. Right. It's got to be OwlCrate. Because I can't give it to FairyLoot. Just off of the principle, I'm that pissed off about these overlays that I'm not giving it to them. I don't care. They could have done an absolutely perfect box and those overlays would have just really, really pissed me off that much. And I know it's petty. I'm fully aware that it's petty, but I could not care less. It's my channel. It's my videos. So I'm allowed. I do like the photo album. I will use the photo album. I can't physically open the bag clips, so those are also a waste of time. And the embroidery kit I won't use either. So, and the mushroom spoon wasn't even like properly finished, so I don't think that's safe to use either. So this is pretty much a wasted box for me. Pre-book, wasted box. And this is box battle. So OwlCrate, you've got the fact that we've got those little sticker things from Poppy War. Those are quite interesting. They're very unique. The scarf, very thick, very gorgeous, perfect for this time of the year. The little spoon rest I can get use out of. And I love the treasured tome pin. So, yeah. I'm happy to give it to OwlCrate. I don't think either of them are particularly strong boxes. I don't think either of them have done as well this month as they had last month, because last month they all brought their A game. And it feels like maybe they might have put a bit too much money into last month and couldn't afford to do as much this month. But it is giving me food for thought. Like, cancelling OwlCrate is getting closer every day, just because of the fact that I don't really like the quality control issues. But also, at this point, going book only on FairyLoot also looking very, very likely, because why are you putting overlays in for a book that's not even the book of the month? That's so dumb. It's so ill thought out. No one... Are you telling me that no one on that curation team said, Well, what if people don't have a copy? Who knows? So congratulations, OwlCrate. You may have won by default, but also your scarf is gorgeous and you did deserve the win. We'll see you next month, and hopefully I won't be angry and we'll be in a bit of a better mood, because I was in a good mood before I started filming this and now I'm just kind of depressed. Oh well. I hope you enjoyed this episode of BookBox Battle. Please let me know. I hope you enjoyed this episode of BookBox Duel. Please let me know what you thought of the boxes, if you are also pissed off about those FairyLoot overlays, because I'm sure other people are really going to love them and I will look stupid, but it's my personal opinion at the end of the day. Please leave a like if you like this video. We would love it if you would subscribe to our channel. We post new videos pretty regularly, so you can find a lot more FairyLoot and OwlCrate content on there. And we'll see you soon with another video. Thank you for watching. Bye! Oh, Sean, you've cut my head off. Why?